The fifth step of my book, The Way of the Goddess, and the Spiritual Warrior Program journey is to free the power of your voice. We are talking here not only about sound and expression through the power of your voice, but also the practice of sacred silence as a way to really tune into what is true for you to begin with. So often words just fly right out of our mouths, and we often end up saying things that we don't really mean and then wishing that we could somehow take our words back. Our speech is actually one of the 3 seats of how we create karma, along with our thoughts and our actions. Our words literally give us the opportunity to give birth to a new reality for us. Therefore, we have to be really, really careful about what we say and the words that we choose to express ourselves with. When we practice sacred silence as a way to cultivate the power of our voice, we are able to go deep, deep, deep within to really reflect on what is true for us, and hopefully what is the capital T truth, which is to be true. It is true in the past, true in the present, and will continue to be true in the future. That's why really only the spiritual things are truthful with a capital T, because spiritual wisdom and spiritual teachings are true in the past, they are true in the present, and they will continue to be true in the future, and even in the future beyond when we're here in our human bodies and our human lives. Therefore, when we root ourselves in the truth, we automatically find a sense of liberation and empowerment. Therefore, we always want to discern first what is true, right? In this world of illusions, we have to really practice honing our discernment to be able to even see what is true, what is untrue. That's why we have this beautiful mantra, and mantra is a great practice to cultivate the power of speech in a very conscious and spiritual way. And in this mantra that we often close our classes with, incidentally, in the Vedic spiritual tradition of teaching, we are chanting, "Lead me from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to a connection with my eternal soul." And what is true is what is light and what is eternal, which is the soul within us. So we really are seeking to connect with that self with a capital S when we're seeking to really speak the truth, and then to, first of all, even know the truth to be able to speak it. We want to speak the truth because the truth sets us free. And at the same time, according to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, Lord Krishna advises that we don't want to just blurt out the truth, even though it's true, and maybe it's true with a capital T, but we want to only express the truth when we have also discerned that what we have to truthfully express is beneficial to us to say or to write, and to the person or people who are going to receive the words we have to say. This takes a lot of thought and reflection, because we have to really practice empathizing with the listener and putting ourselves in their shoes and asking ourselves, is this person really ready to benefit from what I have to express from deep within myself? If the answer is yes, then we proceed and we try to express ourselves as fully and authentically as we can, but also as briefly as possible, so that we ensure digestibility, because it benefits us to express things in a brief way and others to receive things in a way that is easy to take in and to digest. Then we want to also ensure that our speech is pleasant to listen to. When we're delivering a message, especially when it's a message we've had to discern a lot and really consider, is this the right time? Is this the right space? Is this the right person to hear what I have to say? and the answer is yes, resoundingly, then we have to also use the tone of our voice to be able to communicate subtle nuances and to really be able to express ourselves with tact and with a feeling of compassion and oneness for the listener. Now, sometimes we have to express a boundary. We have to set a boundary, and we have to do it through our speech somehow. But when we're cultivating the speech disciplines, what's known as vak tapas, according to the Vedic spiritual teachings, we want to even say things that are hard, right? That are hard outside, coming from a place of purity inside and compassion inside, with a kind of tact. We want to say it as nicely and as sweetly as we possibly can. We don't want to just blurt it out, even though it would benefit us and it would benefit the other, and it's true, in a nasty way. We want to really speak and express ourselves in a beautiful way, in a way that is fragrant, that is, in a sense, offering a flower, right, to the listener of our speech. That is really in alignment with the practice of this speech discipline. Then this chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the second to last chapter, is also advising us to really practice studying the sacred texts and really reading the words of the ancient texts as a way to connect with their meaning. We want to really study these ancient verses and really churn the meaning of these verses in our day-to-day lives. It's really easy to read the whole Gita, to read, so many ancient, amazing texts and feel like, yeah, we got it because we read it. But actually, did you reread it? Did you think about it? Did you apply it to your life? Did you actually do something or shift the way you think about something to become one with that wisdom? After we have absorbed some knowledge or taken it in through our senses somehow, ideally through our ears, but we can also take in knowledge through reading, then we have to contemplate upon it. We have to reflect on it. We have to make sure it makes sense to us, and we have to, in the process, ask questions to get clarification. And once we get that clarity from within through reflection cultivated by silence, then we need to put it into action for this knowledge to transform from mere information that we can gather all the time voraciously, even from the internet, into our lived, embodied reality. That is the meaning of wisdom. It's not just about the words. When your words come from a space of really embodying what you are expressing through taking the time to reflect in silence, then they will carry a certain weight and a certain conviction and a certain sense of assurance to the listener of what you have to say. We know when someone is not being authentic with us, and it's conveyed somehow through nonverbal means and just through a deep inner sense that someone is just saying something, but they don't really mean it. And to really be able to discern this, we also have to listen very closely. In this step and this chapter of my book, we are introduced to the goddess Durga in the form of a biological mother, the mother of the warrior god Skanda. She is here depicted as a biological mother, and this practice of really going deep within ourselves to be able to cultivate conscious speech and to really stand behind our words and say what we mean and mean what we say is something that is deeply connected to our inner emotions and our inner feelings. And we need to heal our emotions a lot of times when what we have to say is angry, right? When what we have to say is like, it's not good. It's just like fire coming off of our mouths, right? Off of our tongues, or just a lot of negative things that come out either in writing or in our speech. And when that's the case, we really gotta cultivate the silence to go deep within and inquire within. Where is this emotion coming from? When did it first start? How can I be with it? How has it helped me? How can I now change my relationship with it to be able to do actions and take behaviors that are going to better serve me. In this way, we actually have to really mother ourselves. And that's the idea of the goddess coming in the form of the biological mother. Even if we are biological mothers ourselves, we still have to mother ourselves. And we have to really nurture ourselves as if we ourselves were this warrior god Skanda. And after a day of really nurturing the inner child through cultivating sacred silence and giving ourselves the safety and the security to be able to feel our feelings and express our emotions however they need to be expressed in that sacred container of solitude and silence, then we can actually emerge as a very courageous, emboldened, brave warrior, a spiritual warrior. This is a really powerful step of the practice of the Navratri sadhana or spiritual practice. It's a really, really empowering one for anyone who feels afraid to speak. And that was me for some time, believe it or not. Before I got here onto YouTube videos and Instagram videos and Facebook videos and sharing a lot, I actually really struggled to be able to first of all find my voice and then to express it. I had taken in so many experiences, so many teachings, so many emotions, not only of myself but other people too, that I then needed to really sit with it in that void of silence. And really it was like a womb, like a container to be able to then allow my words to give birth to a new reality, which I have written in my book, The Way of the Goddess. Writing this book really was like mothering myself. It really was like caring for my inner child so that I could emerge as a warrior, as a spiritual warrior. I even started taking Kalari Payatu lessons, which is the ancient Indian form of martial arts, in this process because it helped me to be able to be brave enough to express myself where I had been silenced for such a long time. And I was afraid, therefore, of what would happen if I were to speak and really speak the truth with a capital T as I had understood it and internalized it through many years of spiritual practice. It took me some time to really sit in the silence, reflect, write, and build my conviction to now be able to easily and fluidly and confidently share with anyone and everyone who is meant to hear what I have to say. And I surrender my expression or what comes through me to a higher power to allow that healing to come through me as an instrument or as a vessel, so that it's not I, the ego, who is speaking, but I really am surrendering myself to be a pure vessel for some speech from a higher power to flow through to you, to be able to receive this as and when you're ready. And when I do this, have to practice also detaching from the outcome of my speech and the words that I share and what I say and when I say it and how I say it. Oftentimes, with students especially, we have to be really careful, and even with children, about what we say and how much we communicate based on the readiness of the person to be able to receive our words. We want to really discern who is ready and who is not ready, because our speech is very precious and valuable, and there's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We are meant to listen more than we speak, and when we listen, and we really, really deeply listen, we can hear the emotions behind what we're saying and what other people are saying. And we start to realize that everything we say and everything other people say is a projection of our own or their own reality. And so if we tune in really deeply to that, both ourselves and to other people, we get a lot of learning just through listening. And that learning and then discerning and sitting in the silence, contemplating, reflecting, helps us to be able to create new words, new solutions, and new speech to really give birth to a new reality. So this step, if you've been searching for your voice and how to express yourself in a powerful, confident, truthful, and beneficial way for service, for leadership, for just dealing with your life and all the challenges in it will be really, really beneficial for you. And I really encourage you to check out the book when it's available in September, starting in September, and to even feel free to check out our Spiritual Warrior program as well.